Hi, today we are going to be talking about how business is conducted in Australia. Business is happening every day around the world, and each country handles business differently. Today we will be talking about a country overview of Australia, as well as cultural orientation, business protocols, and business practices in Australia. Australia is a very unique and diverse country that consists of many different races and cultures. Australia is not only a country, but it is also its own continent that contains almost 24 million people. The first inhabitants were believed to come from Asia about 50 to 60,000 years ago. In January 1788, European settlements first began, and they continued to grow larger over time. Here is a link that is a educational video by iLead Plus, which is a leadership program associated with the University of Newcastle in Australia. Concepts associated with business culture are discussed. One of the concepts discussed in the video is called hot desking. Many Australian businesses have adopted the concept of hot desking, which is where people do not have a fixed place or desk to work from. Instead, when they go to work, they sit at any desk they would like to. This gives the opportunity to meet new people and build your professional network.
Australians carry tremendous pride with their deeply rooted value system, so much pride that it's a requirement to sign an Australian value statement before applying for a visa. Their core values include respect and equal worth, dignity, and freedom. Australians' fundamental freedoms include worshipping one's chosen religion, speaking openly, joining associations, holding conferences, and the ability to move through Australia without constraint. Australians also believe and hold value in the concept of equality. They believe that men and women are considered equal and that everyone should have equal opportunities. The people of Australia carry their values over to business practices. They don't take kindly to tardiness and value having set agendas. It's common to see humor, casual attire, and the impression that all is being handled with no interruptions at a business function. Using a position of power to bargain is extremely frowned upon in a business culture. Oftentimes, Australians stay away from bargaining and lean towards forward, sensible, and honest negotiations.
As for business protocols, Australians are generally not very formal. They use informal things like for greetings. The best way to greet an Australian would just be a smile and a handshake. And they also use first names, even if you just met them. So if your first name was John, then they would use John instead of Mr. whatever that would be. And for gestures, it's rude to point at people, just like in America, but instead they should be indicated to verbally. And it's not a part of Australian culture to give gifts, but it's appropriate to bring a small gift from your country. And so yeah, Australian business culture is a lot like that of other Western countries. They're very punctual. It's always okay to be on time or even early. And they're also very fond of modesty. And so that would be if you're in a business meeting and you wouldn't want to oversell or be aggressive or use aggressive sales techniques. And so what they say is to just be factual and friendly in Australia and you'll do fine. And for more business practices, for entertaining, a lot of the times after business meetings or appointments, the people will go out to a restaurant or go out to drink, and if you get invited to drink, usually that person will be the person paying. And so during those things, that's when small talk is encouraged due to the informal nature of Australia. And so there are things you should talk about and things that you shouldn't talk about. So some things that are appropriate would be like weather or sports or anything that's positive about Australia. And some things that you wouldn't want to talk about would be religion or politics or anything including the Aboriginals of Australia.
And in conclusion, Australia is a global business power full of diverse backgrounds and influences. Australians hold strong values that are thought to be the standard across the country for all interactions in business communication. Timeliness, punctuality, and professionalism have created the modern standards in business practices, while being casual, relaxed, and honest is the best way to conduct relationships inside and out of Australia's business world. And lastly, these are our references and the sources that we use to get the information we talked about today.